fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today with an exciting finish. This is my first finish of 2025. Technically, most of it got done in 2024, but as you guys know, if you follow the channel, and if you don't, hit that subscribe button down below. If you follow the channel, you know that I was working on my temperature kit all of last year. But of course, because I couldn't finish it until I had the temperature for the last day of 2024, it didn't actually get finished until 2025, which means I don't count it in the hours until 2025 because that's when I finished it. So a few things that I wanted to talk about here. This is, like I said, the temperature diamond painting from Craft Pack Canada. So you get this lovely little sticker sheet. This is what's printed on the canvas. The drills end up covering up most of it, but it's a nice little all-season trees thing. This is sticker paper, so you can cut it off if you want to and cut off all of these numbers because it's based on your temperatures, obviously, and then put them on the appropriate bags. I left them on here for a couple of reasons. One, I thought the colors were, when I got this kit and I unboxed it, and I'll link to that if you want to check it out. When I unboxed it, I thought the colors were a little bit weird. So I wanted it to run in rainbow, right? So that's Roy G. Biv from 7th grade science. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. So I wanted the purple ones at the end, which was not how they were initially. So just to make it more of a rainbow, I changed the way that the colors were. Now, when you order the canvas, they tell you to provide your highest temperature average or your highest temp for the year historically, and then also your lowest temp. And those are the numbers that they use to send the drills to you to figure out what colors they need to send you and everything. Also, you're not expected to work on it every day. She includes this lovely little chart. So you can see here, you can record. It starts out in January, and you can record all of the temperature days, which I basically got off of a website on the internet that records the highs and lows for each day for your location. When I bought this kit, I thought that it would be half in the US and half in Canada. It turned out not to be that way. So all the way through June, July, August, September, and pretty much most of October is in the States. I did actually go in, and for the dates that we were on the road, I found out what cities we stayed in that night, and I used the temperature for that city, so it is an accurate reflection of our travel days, and then all of our days here in Canada. So a couple of things that I wanted to note. I had a lot of fun doing this one. I considered doing it again for 2025, but if I did it again, I would do it differently, and here's what I would do differently. So she asks you for the highest and the lowest temperatures. And I don't remember what I set in, but I'm sure 100 plus was our highest temp. And then it can get quite cold in Kansas. So at the time I put in whatever the lowest low was for Kansas. So I got down to DMC 208, which was -22 to -26 on the chart. So that must have been one, the low must have been in there somewhere. However, what I discovered as I was working on the kit was that I was really only using the highest temps. So the way the kit works, for each month, there's a row of drills, a row of 30 drills. So every day you go in and whatever you have on your temperature chart, you fill in with whatever the corresponding number is for the temperature. But what I was realizing was I was only using the highest temp. So I got a bunch of drills that I didn't actually ever use. So essentially, I think from here back, I don't think I used any of these colors because it didn't actually get that cold. And my temps are in Fahrenheit because at the time we were in the States. Of course, if I did it now, I'd probably do it in Celsius. But anyway, I had a bunch of possibly 100-degree days, but apparently we didn't have as many as I thought we were going to because I didn't use very many of these drills either. That could be because the temperature situation fluctuates. I don't know, but I think if I was going to do it again, what I would do is instead of doing a whole row of one temp, which this one I did as the highest, I would put in half of the drill, so 15 of the 30 as the highest temp, and then the other 15 as the lowest temp. It would make the months more variegated. So essentially it would look, I think, like each one was cut in half, but it just made a little more sense to me that way. Otherwise, just pick the lowest temperature or the highest temperature to provide, because you're ending up with drills, or at least I did. Maybe I did it wrong, but I ended up with drills that I didn't ever even open the bags. So let me show you what it looks like, and then I'll explain a little bit more, hopefully. So here is the finished canvas. I'm just going to turn it sideways so you can kind of see what I mean. So January, February, March, all down through the rest of the months through December. So you can see here in January it was some of the cooler colors, but never any of the purples. It never got cold enough for that. So warming up in February and March, and then you can see here in April and May getting warmer because we moved into yellows and oranges. And then you can see in June, July, August, September basically are all pretty warm, including most of October because we were in the States still. The last couple of days we were still in the States. The beginning of November we were still in the States, and then it transitions into Canada, and you can see here that I've moved back into all of those greens and blues because it's much colder here. But like I said, I never got into any of the purples that came along with the kit, which is kind of a shame because it just ends up not giving it as much variety. So like I said, I think what maybe I would do if I were to do it again, because there's 30 drills in each row for each day, I think I would do 15, so half of the drills in whatever the highest temp is, and then the rest of them in the lowest temperature. Because it doesn't seem to make much sense to need both the highs and the lows if you're only going to use one of them on the kit itself. So it is poured glue. I'm actually going to frame this one. There is some glue overlap you can see in between, not in between where it's printed, but in between where all the drills go. There is a little bit of glue. I'm just going to end up framing mine, I think. My whole reason for buying this was that I wanted it to be a nice memento for the year that we moved. And again, like I said, when I bought it, we figured we'd be moving in July, so I thought the first half would be the States and the second half would be Canada. It didn't turn out to be that way, but that's okay. The way that it is the way that it is. And it was a lot of fun to do. It's not something that I had to work on a ton. I kind of tried to keep up with it. Like at the end of January, I would do January, and then I think at the end of February, I did February, but then I think it was probably June before I went back and just picked up all of the temperatures and did those months. And then I did, before we left the States, I did everything as far as I could for those dates, knowing that I would finish it up when we were here in Canada and finish out those last couple of months and do that. So I'm happy with how it turned out. Like I said, and nothing against the kit or the way it's made or anything. I just think for my purposes, because I ended up with some drills that I didn't really need. I mean, that's extra expense for them in cost, shipping, and everything else that maybe wasn't necessary because I only used the highest temps. And I could have just used the lowest ones, I guess, but I felt like the highest ones made more sense because you can see obviously here in the summer it's a lot hotter, and then once it turned into winter, it became a lot cooler. You can do it for multiple cities if you want. So like if you wanted to do one for yourself, or for instance, me, if I wanted to do one for where we are in Canada and then I wanted to do one for back home in Kansas, I could, for 2025, order 2 kits and basically get the supplies for all of them and then make one as a gift for someone else, or have one as a memento of, had we been at home, this is what the temperature would have been. So you can do it for multiple cities, or if you wanted to make them for like friends or family or whatever. But it is going to be a nice memento just because I think it's something that's a nice little reference for me to look at, and will be a reference, a nice little thing for me to look at over the next however many years that we're here in Canada and kind of see where everything started. So I am happy with it. I'm happy that I did it. Like I said, I considered doing it for 2025. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I will link to it down below. She is selling these for 2025, I know. Although, like I said, if I was going to do it again, I think I would do it half and half so that I had both the highs and lows. I also did run out of one color, and that was, I think, 741 or 742. One of the oranges I ran out of because, as you can see here, there was a lot of orange in all of these months. I mean, we had a couple of some orange days here in February and March, as well as all through the summer. A couple here in November as well. So I just use my spares for those. If you run out, you can contact Craft Pack Canada and they will send you additional drills. They do mention that. I just use my spares because I was in a hurry to get this done as usual, so I just used my spares. Also, my drill placement is not great on this, but you're just putting little lines on here, and I figured if it was a little higgledy-piggledy, that was okay. I'm okay with that. Even though I'm going to frame it and everything, I'm okay with the way that it looks. So yeah, that is my post-completion review of the temperature kit from Craft Pack Canada. If you're interested in doing this for 2025, there is a link on the Craft Pack Canada website to the weather website that you can use to get your temperatures and stuff to order the kit. I think it's a fun idea. I might actually try my hand at doing this as an actual crochet blanket, especially now that we're here in Canada. Something I could start on that maybe for the next 2 or 3 months will keep my legs warm while I'm sitting on the couch. Always good to keep your hand in other crafts. So leave me a comment down below and let me know, have you ever done a temperature kit like this? Would you ever consider doing one like this? If you haven't done it as a diamond painting, has anybody done it as a crochet or a knit blanket or any other kind of medium? I'm kind of curious. I saw someone the other day who is doing it rather than as a blanket. They're crocheting little flowers for each day with the petals of the flower as the high and the middle of the flower as the low, which I thought was an interesting idea. And then those will just get, I think, appliqued onto another blanket. I don't know how she was going to finish it, but anyway, yeah, leave me a comment down below and let me know. I think that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.